they crave what they haven't had. Wockles. That's what it is. Keep them wanting more. How are you? You all right?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not bad. I mean, what were we just talking about? We're just talking about AI and the terrible,
Yeah. Do,
terrible work it does
do you know what's so
sometimes.
funny about this? I was literally looking at I was just looking if anyone's mentioned me in the Discord, and someone was like, "Oh, they put my video about Jokeres in, which is actually a very good video, one of my better ones." And someone was like, I guess someone put something about it being AI analysis. So some guy was like, "It's not AI analysis. It is AI, but is it AI or something?" Oh, I think it was like reported a thing. I was gonna say my stuff is straight from the heart. Yeah, I have to watch 6 hours of Victor Jokeres play for Arsenal before I make that video. It's not fun at all. I wish it was AI, but unfortunately,
Mate,
I
you
had to
should have
do
just
this.
told me to do it. I would have loved that. Oh, see, you missed out there. You should have gone like Forder. I need 6 hours watch time of Jokeres. Just send me your notes. I would have
I
been
need
happy.
I
I would have been
I
right.
need these people nowadays. Everyone's got Y Scout, like they can just type a name in and look it up. And I've got to go all on the Arsenal website, go through every single game, keep skipping until Jokeres touches the ball. Yeah, it's
Oh
great fun.
my
Yeah, every
god.
time. I mean, who score helps me a lot, but it's still a pain in the ass.
I do want to get Wise Scout, but I mean it is like for me, considering what are we on right now, like 600 subscribers on this channel. 686. Come on, we can get 700. Like if you haven't, like and subscribe, please subscribe. On the road to 1,000. But like I can't invest the money into Y Scout. So I'm the same. I'm just like hit all the compilations on YouTube, put in a search bar on X, see if someone's put, like, oh, Jokeres versus Kairat or whatever. And that's how I kind of scout the players a lot of the time. It is painful. It's painful. It's even worse for you because you're then going out and doing like full analytical videos. But
Who scored saves me because who scored has all the touches and everything. So I just go there, 10th minute, skip to the 10th minute. So
yeah,
that's like a blast. It's a blast, but yeah, it's definitely a long job when you got 5 other jobs to do as well. But you know,
mate, and you keep taking on more and more and more. It's mad at
yeah.
the
If anyone
moment.
needs any shorts to be made, I can make like 30 a week at
This
this
isn't a
point.
promotion. This isn't LinkedIn or like you can't just come on the
Anyone
podcast
else?
and then just start like
Anyone else that needed
pimping
more
yourself
shorts?
out. There's a new rebrand on the different knock. I can say there's a lovely logo on there. I don't know who made it, but whoever did it just did a fantastic job.
We're just plugging our own stuff now.
Yeah.
I only just noticed. Oh, I see the new logo. Interesting.
Yeah. A
Interesting.
nice little silver logo, little one there. Yeah. I mean, it's bad as well because I do all this stuff, and I'm like, I need to do more on my own channel. Like, I never put the effort in. Like my thumbnails, I spent like a good like hour to 2 hours on a Thursday making the thumbnail, obviously for the live one on the Canon podcast, and then I do my one in like 10 minutes. Like, I've just yeah, that's not good. That's not good, is it? What should we have a little chat about tonight? Like, I'll tell you what's bugging me, right? Because I haven't made any slides tonight. It's gonna be a free for all for the next like hour-ish. And I say hour, but knowing us, it'll be about 3 hours. What Scholesy was saying about this being the worst Premier League champions, like elect. I have to put elect, or potential. It wound me up so much because it's like you wouldn't be saying it if it was anyone else winning this way, but because it's Arsenal and you've got that history of Arsenal, like, it's just irritating. It just annoys me so much. Are we going to be the worst Premier League champions ever, or like is that just absolute nonsense?
Well, I didn't watch the first like 15 years of the Premier League, so I don't know if I can really comment on that too. That's the thing with this.
Yeah.
Like, football's like one of the only sports. Actually, I think generally sport and culture is kind of like this generally, but I think it's worse in football where like there's not many people that can really talk about like all the errors. No one can really compare. There is the same. It's the same with anything, and even in other sports and esports and everything that you can compare, and people have been around for all of them. They still argue. Everyone's just all arguing about what's better, what's better. It's just so hard to. No, I don't think so. I don't think we are at all. I mean, people like we mentioned last time on the podcast, like Man United in 2008 and 9 and stuff. They were just awful, but they didn't need to be good because everyone else was even worse, and they could just monopolize
Yeah.
the market. So it's just like it's just one of them things where it is what it is. I know I haven't heard what Skulls say because I don't really listen to these guys anymore. I've kind of done with their all their stick, and I just find it funny that we're on TV and it just has to be, you know, the United guys talking all the time about us, and you know, even their own fans don't like the things that they say about their own club.
Yeah.
And it's a big thing. Like I don't know. It's the same thing as like they give you like obviously a lot of people don't like United. I don't like United. I think pretty much everyone who doesn't support them hates them. But I think a lot of that comes down to the players. A lot of people don't like Arsenal fans because of our fan base. And I always think that's such a cop-out because what do you mean? Because you had one interaction with someone on Twitter? That's not representation of our whole fan base. Arsenal Fan TV is not representation of our whole fan base and it never has been. But people associate things like that to it. So then they just assume all Arsenal fans are pricks. And okay, a lot of them are, but it's no different in my opinion.
It's the same in any
from other
fan
fan
base.
base. Yeah, it's that exact same. So it's just how things work. But a lot of people are talking like, you know, we'll allow them to say what they want to about our club this week because fair enough. Like, yeah, I respect it. They can probably say what they want, but we'll see who's saying stuff at the end of the season. You know, that's all I'll say.
Yes, I love that fighting talk. Actually, talking of talk, I need to say this. There was such a good comment last week, right? And I know we don't do like a comment of the week or anything like that, but this is from the Daily Depot. It said, follow a few Arsenal and football accounts. This one is one of the most enjoyable. You two go together like Morecambe and Wise, York and Carl, which I was like, hang on a minute, why are we going with like United duos and sharing them? And then good to see the channel grow and keep it up. Which honestly, Daily Depot, genuinely, that has stuck with me because sometimes doing the content is not like it's not easy, especially on a like, do you know what I mean? Like a Friday, hard week working and stuff, and then it's like, oh right, gotta get focused, get have a chat. And as soon as I start, it's class. Like I love doing this. But that comment was brilliant. I was just waiting for an Henri or a Bergkamp, but
no, we're not. It has to be two strikers, Gyökeres and Havertz. I'm Havertz. You can be Gyökeres.
I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. I'm taking it anyway. Okay.
See, my hair's too long to be doing these sort of things.
Mate, do you know what? Being on the internet, the more and more, I was on with, it must have been the last podcast we did. I desperately needed a haircut. And I looked at myself and I realized I looked like Ned Flanders. I was like, oh man, I need a haircut. Like it like reaffirms everything. But there we go.
I've looked awful in some of the shorts videos I've made. It's actually like I just don't care. I just do not. If I can't be asked to have a haircut, I just don't bother. Like twice a year.
That's the joys of having faceless videos. Like your first how many years was it?
Yeah, like year and a half. I'd like 30k subs without a face. Yeah.
Jeez, that's nuts, isn't it? Really.
So nice. I know nowadays I gotta have a shower, gotta get ready, got a camera. And back in the day, I just didn't roll out of bed. I just talk and then record, edit. Oh no!
You say that like you've been up all day, but I know full well you probably woke up at like 7 o'clock today. PM, by the way.
What's been happening? The last 2 days, I literally yesterday, I woke up at like 2 p.m. and then got tired at 8 p.m. So I went to bed at 8. I recorded all my videos for the day, did loads of work, and then was tired. So I went to bed at 8, woke up at 2 a.m., then finished editing all my videos for today, and then went to bed again at 8 a.m. today, and I woke up at like 1 p.m. So I just go to like sleep for like 4 hours and then wake up. So I'm actually kind of tired, but
your body clock is just wrong. There's no other way of putting it, just wrong. Let's go into like the big news, I guess, because regardless, if we want to talk about like United, Kyrat, Leeds, I think there's one name, one person that's going to come up, which is Martin Odegaard. The title of the video, dropping Odegaard. Brave. What did I put? Brave or I can't remember. Or a mistake, something like that. Oh, no, I mean, you know what? Scrap that because we're not even doing slides tonight. Ibrahim's coming in, evening as well. Dan Fry and Ibrahim. Would you start Eze on the left wing with it? Oh, hang on. Sorry about that. Within the left A and Calafiori overlapping. Ooh, overlapping. I mean, for me, I just want to reshuffle of everything, which is crazy because we're top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League. We've just broken multiple records. I think we're the first team ever to win. Is it like 7 or 8 in a row with more than 2 goal margin, something like that. We're the first team since a new format to win each and every game in the group stage or the league stage, if you want to call it that. And then I'm there going, do you know what? Tear it all up, restart the whole thing, just because I'm an absolute whinge bag and a whiner. I've said it before on here. I just put Eze in, and you either put him in like we had previously, where he plays that kind of that right half space, or put him into left 8 kind of location, and then put Rice out on the right, and then go for that. Like that, I think we're kind of lucky in the fact that, regardless of the decisions, our worst performances are going to beat most teams. Like we can just grind out wins now, and worst comes to worst, you're going to get a draw. The Man United loss I looked at and I hated it, but over time, and I think Kyrat's really helped me like rejig things and reevaluate everything. And I look at it and go, was it a handball? Possibly in the build up to that goal. And then you got 2 absolute worldies. And most of the time, you get those guys to hit that ball at those positions most of the time. They're not going to go in, which is the reason that we don't really play that kind of low XG game, because most of the time it doesn't happen for you. So it's not the end of the world. We're still 4 points ahead at this current moment in time. So for me, I think Eze left and then Rice right, and then I play Trossard. But I don't know. You're probably going to say no, Forder. You're completely wrong now. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go on. How do we combat this? Do we drop Odegaard? That's the first thing.
Yeah. I mean, I literally, my video today is literally why Odegaard should be dropped from Arsenal. So I think my opinion's quite clear at the moment of kind of how I feel with him. And thing is, I'm like someone that is like late on the boat on this. Like I speak to a lot of people and they're like, obviously everyone's been quite against Odegaard for quite a while. I'm much more, I don't know, I'm less reactionary, a lot more like, I'd say flat in my opinions in terms of these things of like who should be dropped, who should be sold. I don't really necessarily jump to conclusions too quickly. I still think since he's come back, there has been games where he has broadly been very good. I think like Brighton, he was good. I think Bournemouth, I don't think he was good overall, but he made 2 crucial passes into the final third, which got us goals. He was good against Villa in the second half. Like there's been games where he has really taken over and been that mantle of the side. Now, since it's gone on and on and on, playing this system. And there's more problems that just Odegaard, especially in this midfield right now. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know why Zubimendi's played all the games that he has, which is something we complained about. I've complained about for months. I complained that he played against Wolves. I complained that he played against Inter. And then he played these games and now he looks knackered and he's played awful. Wow, what is the point? Like,
surprise. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense why Norgard's not getting any game time. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. But like the whole the whole Odegaard thing as well, I just think, like, I don't want to be harsh to him because, like, I do still think he's a good player. I still think there's ways that he can help. And I also think separate to that, right now, he's just not playing well. Like, there's things that he usually does, even when people criticize him, that he is not doing right now. And that's where I'm kind of
Yep.
drawing the line. Like, there is things such as the press has been awful. And broadly, that is, I think, because of Jesus and Gyökeres keep coming in and out. And I don't think Odegaard works anywhere near as well with Jesus most of the time than with Gyökeres. But it's still broadly on Odegaard because when we sit down in a mid block, he just can't figure out the gaps between him and the central midfielders. And they keeps leaving these big gaps for people to run into. And this has happened pretty much the entire time since he's been back. First instance was Wolves. We gave away a goal, and broadly, I think that was Odegaard's fault. The whole mid block was a mess, and he was the guy that was
Yeah.
supposed to get back further. United, it wasn't like we didn't have to do it too much, but there was instances before that as well where, like, I think was it the Forest game. No, it wasn't the Forest game. There's a few games at home where it's not been brilliant. I don't think against Liverpool it's very good. And I put that on him because that's his job. Like, we talk about him being safe, but there's things that he is not doing to win us the ball back, and the game is becoming a more basketball-like game because he can't do that. And also because Zubimendi can't pass the ball, and nor can Gabriel apparently at the moment. And then that is fine if we had the sort of basketball players on the pitch, like Eze, like Gyökeres, but they're not on the pitch. They weren't on the pitch against United. We've got Jesus, we've got Trossard, and it's like, oh, great. They're not going to like this game style at all, really. And I don't know. Odegaard as well, in that United game, I broadly think it's his. I said this earlier. I don't like when you say stuff like this, it always comes with a grain of salt because it's like, how are you ever going to know? Like, I was like, it's his worst performance in an Arsenal shirt, but who knows? Does anyone really remember every Odegaard performance? He's been here for 5 years. Like, no one does. Like, I can't remember any of his performances before like 2022. And so, like, yeah, he probably
Yeah,
had
I
a
know you aim.
he probably had a worse one if I'm being real, but it's the worst one in recent memory, and that is saying something considering how bad he was last season. But I mean, I mentioned it about 15 times in my video. I mentioned it on the video the other day. That 9 minutes into the game where we have that pass inside where Timber puts it into him, and he has a right, he
Yep.
could run into the center, and he just turns back past Dorgu and passes it back. And I was like, well, that's because he's not got any pace and he can't get in there. But it's not. And when I rewatched the game back, I was like, I can actually see Odegaard trying some passes that were a little risky, but they weren't coming off. So I think that just completely deteriorated him. He didn't want to make any risks after 3 or 4 passes, or 3 or 4 take-ons didn't work, and he just gave up. Basically, he just completely hid. He didn't want to be a part of the play.
Just
After we
safe.
On Who Scored, I don't know if this is reliable because Who Scored's a bit weird with some of their things, but on Who Scored, after we conceded to United, he had 6 touches from the 39th minute to the 52nd or 60th since he came off, which for a guy that has about 100 touches a game is insane. Like, I think it's more like 6 actions more than touches, but even
Yeah.
then, it's still like not great and good enough. And I just was like, this guy is a crutch to this team. We have our own criticism of him. I do as well, but I was like,
Yeah.
he would do so much better, just helping us. And that. So
It's so
yeah,
frustrating, isn't it? Because like both of them have got world-class qualities, but they're such polar opposites in terms of like Eze is high risk, he's low touch, he's that player that will go in the block, he'll try to take on a man, he'll take the risks essentially. Whereas Odegaard is so good at organizing the team. He's usually like, and I know at the moment it's not working for him, which is a big problem. He's usually the person that runs the press. He's so good at recycling the ball and understanding like how we should build up play. He can come out if he wants and play a lot deeper and like just control for us with that midfield 3 of Rice, Zubimendi and Odegaard is always fantastic. But as of late, you look and you just think, oh, we're craving what Eze gives us. And that's the problem. And the interview, I don't know if you've seen it, the interview with Arteta, and I think it's Harry Symeou that asks him a question. I could be wrong, and says about him playing a lot deeper. And he essentially alludes to the fact that Arteta's not giving this as an instruction for him to drop out of the block. He actually wants him in those zones a lot more often. And it seems like, just like you said, when things started getting a bit more difficult and things weren't coming off, suddenly he's going, I don't fancy this. I'm gonna come deeper. I can receive the ball with more time, more space. The angle's a little bit better for me. And it's not what we need, especially in that game. Like and maybe I'm being a bit harsh because I look at him with that kind of captain's hat on. And I think for me, a captain is the person that stands up, above the precipice. The guy who's like, when everyone else is treading water and drowning, he's the person that's head above the water. Right, come on, boys, let's all get out, let's go. And it's too often now that I see him, and it's not him being the one that does it. And don't get me wrong, against United, there weren't many people that, bathed themselves in glory. It's not like Declan Rice had this absolutely outstanding game, and then you looked at Odegaard going, "Oh, what on earth are you doing?" But I just expect more. And it is worrying when you've got a captain that is being taken off that often in big games, when really I think maybe it's a bit old school that you should be looking towards them, not away from them. It's just so difficult. And I think maybe this is going to be either a wake-up call for Odegaard, like when we first saw Eze arrive at the club, and Odegaard was playing some more risky passes, and they were coming off. He had a lovely reverse pass. I can't remember who it was against. Right at the beginning, and then he came off the pitch, of course, with his multitude of injuries. But maybe this will be the push that he needs. Looking, and it's like, well, actually, if I don't start making a change and don't start doing the hard yards and then make the hard choices, I'm going to be out. Or maybe it'll be actually Arteta looks at it and says, "You're coming out. You've got to do more." Because we expect, and I think like Arteta expects the absolute best. When he first came into the club, it was all non-negotiables, wasn't it? Like, it wasn't about these are the expectations. It was about what's not acceptable, the minimum requirement for our team, like the running, the pressing, the ability to play on the front foot, the high line, all of those things were the non-negotiables. And I look at Odegaard and I think, well, he's a non-negotiable player. He's not the other way around, the player that kind of pushes and looks and goes, "Oh, actually, I'm gonna," like Bruno Fernandes. He's like your prime player of almost. I'm gonna throw it to like a teaching reference, but the person that like pushes the boundaries with the teacher, sees what they can get away with, and we kind of need a little bit of that. We need someone that's gonna just try something that's not really I don't know what you would call it. Like, help me out here, mate. Just the kind of like the average, like the recycling of the ball it's all of that. And
Yeah.
like I worry like Champions League as well. For all the success we've had in this phase, can we go on and win the Champions League without the players that are going to do that? Because I look, and really the players in our team that are going to do the madness that gets you over the line when you're 0-0 or you're 1-0 down and drags you back in. Bukayo Saka has it in his locker, but we haven't seen it in a long time. He seems to be playing less on the edge these days. Trossard, mate, thank you. Something spontaneous. That's exactly what I needed. I think Trossard's that player. I think Trossard at times he's got that kind of ego. He's got that tenacity just to do something. Like I don't care. I'm taking a shot here. I'm doing what I want to. I thought Gyökeres had that in him, but the more I see it, the more I think he hasn't got the confidence to do it anymore. Maybe Eze, but none of them are that big game player of like, like a Didier Drogba. I didn't think his all-round play was fantastic. If you look at like, say, his like league record, the amount of goals consistently, big games though, against big teams, big moments, he was always there. Like a Zlatan, that type of guy that's just going to go, yep, put on me. I'll put it on my chest. I'll take one for the team. If it doesn't come off, it doesn't come off, but I'm going to do it. And the more I look at Odegaard, the more I think, oh, you're just playing it safe.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of that is fair. I don't entirely agree with all of it. Like, I think in terms of like some of the, because like there's two different conversations here. Like, there's things that Odegaard can't do in the current setup of the team that he hasn't adapted to, which is a
Mhm.
problem. The Premier League is much quicker. The Premier League is much physical, and I do think he can't deal with them physical restraints anymore. I don't think it's necessarily a trying thing. Like, he's trying to
Do
come
you
inside the
think
block.
that's from his injuries, or do you think that's just a case like the game's bypassed him
I mean, it might be a
physically?
bit of both, but he never was that physical. Like, he could keep
Mm,
up a little bit, but he was never a guy that was receiving inside the block ever,
no,
really.
no.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, he worked in the way that he worked for Arsenal such a long periods of time at being this guy in this role. And I just don't think he's adapted. But I also think the way that he is as a footballer, there's things that we can't ask for him because he can't do it. Like, he is just insanely left-footed. So he struggles with angles at all on his right foot. We can be angry about that. We can be annoyed, but he's not going to improve that. That's who he is. That's just the bread and butter of Odegaard. He's mid-20s now. That's just a footballer, and I'm not going to blame someone that is for something they're not doing. And he's still trying. Like, that's the thing. It's not like he's hiding as much as I say that. I watched the game back against United, and I was like, I can see him trying. In the first 10 to
Mhm.
15 minutes, as much as I highlighted the point of him coming out of the block, there's also a moment where we lose the ball. He runs down the guy towards the edge of the touchline and slides him out and wins the ball back. There's also a moment where we counter quickly. We play the ball quickly into Odegaard. He has 3 players around him. He slips the ball through into Rice, and then Rice ends up putting the ball out to Saliba, who does a cutback, and we don't take that chance. They're
Yeah.
chances where we should take, and Odegaard does well, and it's not his fault. Even the goal that we scored against United, that's the first time he's actually in the box. He just toe poked it towards the goal, ends up being an own goal, but that Odegaard did help that goal. And like, there is things that he did where like I'm like, I can still see him trying. I can still see the way it is. I think it's more of a problem of the player that he is rather than like his problems. I feel like that he just
Yeah.
doesn't suit what we're trying to do at the moment. I said this earlier to someone. I was like, it doesn't work for me when we play Odegaard, Trossard, Saka, who are very slow, quite slow build up players. They want to do slow things. And then you're putting a Gyökeres in them where he just wants to be impactful and smash it. And it's like, that's just to me completely mismatch of like ideas. And I just don't think it works. It might work in some moments because these guys are good footballers. I think 2 years ago in 23, 24,
Mhm.
Odegaard was broadly still very good. But I remember doing a video about it then and saying that Odegaard's playing well in a system that doesn't suit him. And it doesn't fix it. He doesn't play to his strengths, but he's still doing a good job at creating in these half channel spaces when he clearly is not really the player for that job consistently because he is an 8, not a 10. That's why I hate all these Bruno comparisons sometimes with people online because it's like, well, they're not even the same. Like, to me, like Odegaard's more like I don't even know. He's like more like a Paul Scholes than anything, like than a Bruno Fernandes as player wise. Like, he's way more
Who
deeper.
does he actually compare with? Because I
Uh,
can't like, because he's not
no, I
like your
don't know.
typical like, I don't know, like your Vieiras or your Keens,
Yeah,
or he's not
he's
like a
just
De Bruyne, he's not like a Gerrard or a Lampard.
no, I don't know.
He's
Yeah,
so different.
because he's just a deeper player. Like, he needs to play deeper. And I think the thing is with Zubimendi is that, like, I think broadly a lot of our results being bad recently have been probably more on Zubimendi than Odegaard. But obviously it's a combination of it all. I think Zubimendi. We talk about
Oh.
taking risks, but Zubimendi is taking unnecessary risks that are consistently getting us into situations where we're
Mm.
conceding or problems. And it's not just the United one. There's multiple ones before that in other games where he's just done stuff that I'm like, why is he doing that? Against Inter, he was just all over the place, I felt like, and just doing whatever he wanted, which, okay, it didn't matter because we won and no one will look at it, but that's still like a thing that holds that. And like, I think a lot of that comes down to fatigue. I give a little bit of sympathy to Zubimendi, I think a bit more. And like, I think with Odegaard, like, some of that, I don't think we need Odegaard to sit there and progress the ball when you have Zubimendi as much. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
necessarily guaranteed. I think it's fine generally, and I think these players are good enough to make it work. But there's also like the other factor of this all is that Odegaard is just not playing well. He's struggling to do passes. He's struggling under contact. He's struggling to do other things where I know he can do. I know he can do this even at his worst because he did it 3 weeks ago against Brighton, against Villa, against these teams. I saw it there with my own eyes. So why is he not doing it now? And I just think sometimes players go in and out of form. Our attack broadly has been awful this season. It just hasn't clicked for whatever reason. And I feel like sometimes we put I was thinking this the other day. I was like, I've put the blame on Gyökeres, I put the blame on Saka. But at the end of the day, if every attacker on our team is playing bad this season, ultimately that is a system problem. The system isn't right. and Arteta is the man responsible for that system. So the blame has to go on him. And well, I do think Odegaard should be dropped, but I also think Odegaard being consistently played all the time, over and over and over again, when we just spent £70 million on someone that plays broadly in the same position. You can move Rice over to the right, play Eze on the left. It's not that different. Like, it's fine. And he just refuses to do that in the league at the moment. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And then he panic does it. Like, we saw the 4 subs he did against United, the double sub he did against Forest 51 minutes in. Like, what is the point of if you're going to play Odegaard from the start next week? What is the point of like doing this over and over again? And I want Odegaard to get good, but we had this conversation about Gyökeres and we said that he had to come out of the team for a bit. And that's the
Yep.
same with Odegaard. And it's no bad. He could come back and be really good, but yeah, that's the thing with Odegaard. I don't put too much on the captaincy thing. I understand that you and a lot of people will, and I completely get that conversation. I just think a lot of people on our team
That's
are
a really
captain.
nice way of just kind of skating by that. I'm the old man of the YouTube.
Not even just older generation, but I think a lot of people will put a lot on that captaincy, even people I speak to, which is fair enough. I just think everyone's leaders in our team, and I completely understand from a sort of pressing standpoint and setting the team up, as he is the organizer. That is something that we have to look to him to. And if he's not doing it right, then everyone else might be a little bit lost. I do think there is leadership qualities that he hasn't necessarily shown or been as good at doing. But then when we have people like Rice next to him, Gabriel, I don't think it's too bad. And also, like, other than Rice, most of our players are not playing very well. Like, I couldn't name many players in the last 3 or 4 league games, at least, that have played very, very well at all. And I don't know why he consistently keeps playing the same players, but it is what it is. But I do like Odegaard, though, but it's just time to come out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to unpick there. Like, I think, right, let's have a little look, because chat's going on here. Vic Steele, evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Odegaard, too soft for the Prem. Like, I mean, it's hard. Like, he's far softer than. Oh God, that sounds so bad. Far softer than I want from a player in the Premier League. Because I mean, I look at my favourite centre midfield, regardless of like pairing, trio, anything that I've ever seen at Arsenal, is Petit and Vieira. And I mean, how many teams are going to have 2 players like that? So for me, like, personal preference, I completely agree. I don't think he's too soft in terms of, if you're looking at overall squad and profiles, it's not a problem. It becomes a problem when you overplay him and you play him, like you say, in a system where it's not suiting him, or in a game where it's not suiting him. Like, the Forest game just didn't suit him. And sometimes Arteta's been really odd with his selection recently. I put out against Kairat, I was like, really interesting, but in isolation, I hate this lineup. There's been multiple occasions that you mentioned earlier with Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, and like the kind of the pacing and the types of players. I've looked quite recently and gone, okay, Madueke, Gyökeres, and Martinelli, and gone, right, like, on paper, you go, all right, cool. You're kind of going for it. You're forward thinking players, all, quite pacey relatively, want to play on the front foot. But then at the same time, you go, okay, they're all runners. Where is like the guile? Where's the play to feet? Where's the hold up? Where's the none of that? So then that straight away puts pressure on whoever is playing as our 10, which in this case was Odegaard. He is our creative outlet. That's it. You're our hub. You've got to make it work now. And sometimes that's the problem. Like, I don't think he's too soft in all the games, because sometimes you need that kind of player. We've seen it over the years. There's certain players that get away with it. If you're like a David Silva, you don't need to be like that, because you're that good at reading the play. You're that good at giving yourself that extra second that your strength doesn't matter. But yeah, it is difficult. 610 Vegas. Here we go. One for you, Wackles. Do you think players like Odegaard will play it safe, not risk their bodies because of the World Cup? Big deal. Norway getting in. Ooh.
I certainly think it's like an afterthought, but I think these guys are professionals, like top level.
Mm,
I feel like a lot of them, because even when you ask them about stuff, they basically say like they're focused on next week more than like the bigger picture, because that's not their job to think bigger picture. That's maybe Arteta's job, and us as fans to think about that. But the players have just got to think, right, Leeds tomorrow, that's it. And I've only even seen Calafiori's interview. He kind of mentioned stuff about this, like today,
yeah.
where he said that like before he signed for Arsenal, he was thinking about Bologna and then the Italy. But I'm not saying that every player's like that. I definitely think that some players definitely consider that. Like, do I want to get injured in this sort of way? Especially considering he's had 3 injuries this year, and it is a big moment for Norway for the
Mm,
first World Cup and stuff. So I completely get that. Like I think that might be a consideration. But if you were to get an injury right now that would put you out of the World Cup, it'd have to be a pretty bad injury. It's in
yeah.
5 months. Like, I know that's not out of the realms of possibility. That definitely is possible to happen. But I still think 5 month injury is pretty unlikely, because
I also think with his standing for that nation and that team, like, I mean, it's going to take a hell of a lot. Like when we've had like Beckham, we've had Rooney that have been more or less like shoehorned in, like forced to go to the World Cup because we're like pinning our hopes on those players. Like, I think broken leg, they're still putting him in a cast. They're going, go on, get on the pitch, mate.
well, it'd still
Like,
be with the
it's,
squad, won't he? He's always with the squad, even
mm,
when he was injured last
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He still went, didn't he? And all the friendly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like I don't think they'll, he'd maybe they'd go like 90% in certain things, but that's where the manager and that's where the whole kind of setup, you'd have to trust them at going, he doesn't look 100%, like Eze's going in, or we're adjusting this. Like, I think if there's any players that don't look 100%, you'd hope that the manager would pick up on that. But there we go, and that's where all the different analytics come in now. Here we go. Another one for 610. Just think he's going to be a player that suits some games, not others. Yeah, 100%. And another one for Vic Steele. Villa game when he finally won a ball and played it to Zubimendi was awesome. Problem is he hardly ever wins the ball while in the middle.
And even that was when he was deeper. That wasn't when he was in the front line of the press. We've seen less and less of him in the front line of the press because he's useless there. They actually prefer Marino in it. They've been bringing on Marino in the 51st minute and being like, can you shore up our press in mid block? And I'm like, that's concerning. And this has been happening for weeks now. This is even before like the big United game, the big Forest game happened. They've been bringing him off for Marino. And I'm like, well, that's damning, because Marino is no way near the technical level of someone like Odegaard, or shouldn't be on
Yeah.
paper. But the fact that you're willing to bring him on because he does more and he's, shoring up the team a lot more, I think when Odegaard can't manage them sort of things, and I'm like, because I've never really considered before this week that Odegaard will leave the club like this summer, because he's still got massive standing within the club. He's the captain. Arteta loves him, and I don't think his performances this season overall have been as bad as last year. I do think there has been a bit of an improvement.
Yeah.
And if we win the league, like, I don't think Arsenal, as much as I do think there's a conversation to be had about who is going to leave and who will join, I don't think it's going to be this wide range of changes that people think there is. If we win the league, they'll broadly keep a lot of the same players. That's how it's going to
Yeah.
work. So I never really considered Odegaard leaving, but this week I'm looking at it and I'm like, he's not even. The thing is, he's in a very easily, like, he's in a position we have cover. We have Winery coming through. We have Eze. We can even play Havertz, the Reece, Marino if you have to. Like, Saka could come inside. You play Madueke. There's loads of players you actually hypothetically could
like that
play
idea.
there. And then you think about that. You think about people in Europe as like 10s or 8s. Nico Paz, you've got these players available. And you're like, well, these guys could be available to get. If we get an Alvarez, he can easily drop deep into that position. So then you can't start considering all this. And then you're like, it kind of just, and then you've seen the rumors about Bayern, and I don't believe them, but I would think that teams like Bayern would love him. I think it'd be great for Bayern, actually. And I'm like looking at all that stuff together, and you're just like, if we can get good money for him, he's a decent age, like, I really don't put it against them. And obviously, we don't know about the impact that's going to have behind the scenes, because he is an influential figure and these things do matter. But we have enough other influential figures now at this point. We've got, if White's still there, Gabriel, Rice, Saka. Like, we've got Marino's part of the leadership squad. Like,
there has to be some kind of succession plan.
yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like just get rid of him, but there has to be some kind of foresight, because I think too often we've got to a point where we've either been held ransom, like we're with Özil and Sanchez, like a different situation, granted. But when you're like pinning your hopes on like just one or two players, and then you lose one, and you're like, oh no, what do we do? Like panic stations. Like we're definitely in a position where now, if we did decide to, move him on, cool. Like even with the squad right now, we'd be all right. But I have no doubt that there's other players that can come in. That's the thing, isn't it? It's really weird. Like, do you think? I think Loz, so Lawrence McKenna, Loz, and Alex, as in Alex Moneypenny from the Different Knock and Cannon podcast, they've got a new pod out. And Loz said, shouldn't you just be waiting until the end of the season to have this conversation? Like, do you think as fans we should actually be going? Because obviously we're not doing it. We're like right in the middle of it. And now we're talking about should we be gone at the end of the season. Is it crazy that we're doing this when we are, we're looking like favourites in the Premier League? We're at the top of the Champions League. We're still in both cups. All's rosy, really. And other fan bases probably look and go, why are you trying to self-sabotage? Like, what are you doing? That's your captain. Like, get behind him. Like, is that the conversation that really should be happening? Or are we just, is it just inevitable because we're within it, looking from the inside?
It's just, yeah, I completely get like both perspectives. I do think, but the thing is, like, when we talk as well, like when we're talking here, it's like when you go out, when you talk to many Arsenal fans, I'd say in the fan base, you want to have a good representation of talking about things that they care about. And
Yeah.
ultimately, not only do me and you care about this situation right now, like even though everything is good, this is still a big point that we have to consider. Everyone I talk to, at least in the Arsenal fan base at the moment, cares about this. They're like that, and that's the thing. And I think if I was not making content, I think I would want to hear what people are saying about situations like this. And I completely get, I completely get, like, I completely get that opinion because I think that is fair. I don't think the club will be talking about this at all. But it's our job to speculate and talk about these things because we want the club to be as good as they possibly can be. And obviously, we want them to win the league and that it comes first and stuff. But we have seen this sort of like we've seen our performances drop for the last couple of weeks, at least in the Prem. I think in other competitions we've been broadly fine, but in the Prem we've seen the performances drop, and people have been worried. And the whole time I've been like, I'm not overly worried, but I can see the worries. But then you don't want to get to the situation we're in now where we've just lost to United, a disgraceful game, to be honest. And we're annoyed. And we know that we should be beating teams like, we're so far into this project and we should. And United are a really good team. I said this before going into the game that I think United are very, very good actually this season. And I think Carrick has good potential. But I just think that like we've got to the point now where everyone just wants everything to be perfect. So I get the conversation, but there is no point of like deeply like going into it now about should Odegaard be sold, but talking about if Odegaard should be in the team for Leeds tomorrow, then that's broadly like much more like relevant, isn't it? And we've had that conversation and we've made our points clear on that, and that's where it broadly goes into the summer. But yeah, I do agree, but it's all about like this weekend, isn't it? And I just don't know if he will start like broadly. The Arteta, it's so weird because we know what Arteta's like, but Arteta's comments this week have been very weird to say the least. Like like he almost knows that he messed up very badly.
Do you find it like, and maybe it's just me, right? Cynical Forder. People are going to be used to that anyway. But loads of people we can get like glazing over this interview. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, what do you expect him to say? I don't really know. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
and he also lies as well. People are like, "Oh yeah, like he
is a compulsive liar." Especially about injuries. Oh my God!
I saw Alex tweet about the Max Dalman thing, and he was like, "He always says things for a reason." I was like, "He does," but there's sometimes this guy absolutely just like waffles. Like some of the things that Arteta said in conferences, I'm like, I would not say that. What is he going on about? But like, I do get it. Like, I did like the response though. Like I know
agree,
it is a bit like what is he gonna say? And I'm so like that with everything. Like what? Yeah, you've interviewed a guy post match and he's annoyed. Oh, what is he gonna say? But like I don't know. It's about the action, isn't it? If tomorrow we see Eze starting and a player I will speak about in a couple of minutes. And like, and then we could get a bit excited and be like, oh, okay, so he has listened to what he said. I didn't
Mhm.
broadly see that much of a change against Kairat, but then I did in the first half, and then the team kind of just didn't bother. So I'm not sure if that's really on Arteta. I don't know. It's one of them weird. Who cares? I didn't even have to analyze that game, to be honest. It's such a weird one. But like, yeah, the action matters after the thing that he said. But I did see so many like Arsenal fans hate, like, not get really annoyed at Arteta on the weekend. And he had that conference, and everyone was like, "Oh, we're back. I believe in him again." And
Yeah.
I say, he's so funny
He's
how he
there
speaks.
going, lovely. Oh, you lot are so easy. Wrap round my little finger, you lot are. Like, I just saw very good conference. Like, by all means, good. Said the right things, but actions speak louder than words, as you say. It's, if he came out and suddenly went wild and went, you know what, I'm playing Trossard out on the left. I'm playing Saka inside now as my 10, and he's playing central. And then I'm having Madweki out on the right or something. I'd be going, jeez, all right, Arteta. Like,
Yeah,
I was expecting a reaction, but this is like nuts.
It's so
What?
weird because he did this at the start of the season, though. Not like as crazy as
Yeah.
that, but we play like I've been saying to people in my videos this week. I've been like, he has been. We did play attacking football at the start of the season. All the
Mhm.
videos that weren't lies. We actually were throwing the kitchen sink at teams. We were just going, yeah, Eze, Odegaard, Saka. We're just throwing everyone on the pitch at points, and we were just running at teams. And I was like, I thought, oh my god, this is what I've wanted for years. And then this is why people criticize Odegaard, isn't it? Because it might not be his fault, but he's come back in the team and we have played slower, boring, weaker. And like I've like watched all the games so many times. There's so much analysis, and I don't think it is just Odegaard. Like I think Zubamendi's
Mhm.
performances have dropped, but I do think like that common link is like it's so weird to me. I don't know. I think it has to be a part of it, right? Like it has to be a part of it, and people aren't gonna like Odegaard for that. I mean, people say it so well, and I say this a lot about top six clubs. This season, every Arsenal fan just wants Arsenal to win. But the underlying factors come that this is 6 years into the future of your time at Arsenal. We also want to play. We're not asking for the best football in the world, but we want to play some nice football. Leeds play
Yeah.
better football than us at the moment in attacking areas. At least they can get a good move going. And I really, really do sympathise with the criticism of that because I've always been like, nah, I win 1-0 every game. But as the season goes on, man, we play 35 games. I'm getting tired. Can we just have some fun?
Yeah.
Like, I want more of them Kyrate games and the Wigan games because the pressure's off. But every single game in the league, we have no pressure off. And it's so crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's so true. Like, I hope we just play fun. Like Leeds, that should be a game you play Odegaard because you want to temper the crowd a little bit. But I don't care anymore. I don't care. Like I would have
No.
done that, but we can't do that. We can't afford to. Let's just go at them. Let's run at Daniel Fark. Love that man,
Yeah.
but let's run at him. Unfortunately, it's just what we've got to do. And
This is going to be a cracking game because it's a completely different game to the first game when we played them. Like,
yeah,
they're completely
completely
different.
different. They are
I want to
such a good
say,
team, man.
isn't it so? Maybe since December they've had they've had the best form in the league. Like they've been
They've
unbelievable.
they've lost one game and it was to Newcastle in a 95th minute goal. And do you
Yeah,
know what the
yeah,
funny
that
thing
was
is?
it. Yeah,
Do you know what's funny thing is? This all happened just randomly. They were 2-0 down to City at the Etihad, and Daniel Fark just was like, oh, we'll play a back five, I guess. And then since then, he's found the God formation. They're so good with this back five. They
yeah.
were awful with a back four, and they're so good with it. I'm like,
That's
oh
so
my God.
frustrating, isn't it? Of course. And now we get to play him. Lovely. Let's go for a couple of the comments because the comments have been coming in. Keep on firing them in, guys. Honestly, it's great to have like a little bit of back and forth with all of you guys. So 610 Vegas evening, mate. By the way, 610, can you please comment in the chat? Is that my thumbnail I did of Trossard as the Olympic
Shooter.
shooter?
Yeah.
Yeah. A midfield of Rice, Havertz, and Zubi looks pretty powerful to me. That's Odegaard's and Eze's problem for me. Eze, I feel, should be used more on the left. Now Trossard has slightly dropped off too. And I do think this is an opportunity for Arteta because he kind of did that. It was against Villa, wasn't he? He did it against Villa. And it was the Matty Cash goal where Eze kind of lost the man. And we haven't really seen him do it at all since then. We haven't really seen Eze since then, to be fair. But I think this could be an opportunity where you look at Martinelli, you look at Trossard and go, wow, they're having a little downturn in form. maybe we start doing that little experiment again, try to get him back in the team. Calafiori looks like he's going to be fit as well, which is great. And available at left back again, which I think we've really missed him. He's been a massive component to the way we move forward, which is crazy because at the start of the season, prior to the season starting, I was
Yeah.
going, oh, is it going to be Hincapié out on the left? And I look and I think, God, Calafiori is just a key cog in the way that we attack now. It's just so funny for a left back. And I guess he's really by trade a centre back, you could argue. But he's so important. And I do think, yeah, maybe we could go with Eze out on left wing. And it'll be interesting. There are options. So many options.
He has to rotate. Like, we cannot play the same lineup again, which we all know was bad against Liverpool, was bad against Forest. I will give a bit sympathy. Obviously, he changed the wingers, which I didn't like at the time because I thought the mix weren't good. But ultimately, we should have won that game. Like, we just didn't take our chances. I'm not going to begrudge Arteta too much. And then this game, like, it was just dreadful. That start 11 it's not encouraging. You need to encourage people.
Is that thumbnail? I can't. Yeah, I am the man behind all of those weird thumbnails on the Cannon
I
podcast.
do want to say his last when he 610 said the last thing. That start bit I do want to talk about because I think it's a good segue to talk about the one guy that I wanted to talk about today that is finally back, and finally
I was avoiding this subject.
We have our best forward back at the club. We've been waiting so long to see my man Kai Havertz. And by the way, Kai Havertz against Kairat, I know they're a pub team, but he absolutely ran that. He was the best player on the pitch by a mile. And I was just so happy to watch him he was just frying. I loved it.
I want to throw this with a caveat because I have a feeling their form going into that was like 2 draws and 3 losses or something.
Well, their season ended in October, so it's kind of unfair, really. But
did it? Oh, to be fair, all right, fair enough. I did not know that.
They played 2 games in like 3 months, which is like, why are they even? Why are they even in the Champions League?
Does that make it any better? Doesn't it make it worse? They're like off season kind of thing.
And their best player was injured; he wasn't there, Satpayev. But still, a lot of other players in our team, I don't think were like amazing. Like, I think. Like, broadly, people will talk about Odegaard. I do think the game state he came on in and everyone just stopped to give try and was not great. But I don't think Odegaard...
And to be fair, that's the right thing to do in that. Like, why are you going all guns blazing? I know we as fans are going to be going, yeah, let's go get... Like, I saw someone do a prediction thing and giving 9-0. And I'm like, okay, it is the Champions League, though. I know.
It probably should have been 9-0, but we can't shoot. So
because what's our biggest? 7-0 against Sparta and 7-1 against PSV.
7-1 against PSV was crazy. That was insane.
Yeah, but it's not really the done thing to do.
It's not for us because we're just so wasteful. But I do think when I look at the team,
Madueke,
this is what I mean. People Havertz was incredible, and they are a weak team to be fair. But that was Havertz's first start in over 330 days for the club. And he came in and looked better than Gyökeres, looked better than Madueke. I think Eze Bordy had a good game, but I still think Havertz was better. And then Havertz also looked better than everyone on the pitch by a mile. And and even Portsmouth, that was his first game in months and months and months. I know Portsmouth Championship, whatever, but 15 minutes in, he looked better than everyone else. And I was like, when you're doing that so impactful straight away, that is big things. And it's all down to his movement. It's all down. Also, against Karat, he played at right centre mid. When has Havertz ever played at right centre mid? That must be his first game ever for the club there, because he used to play at left centre mid back in the day when we used to do that whole thing. And his movement on and off the ball is incredible. That assist he gets for Gyökeres, him and Eze, that central access, the passes. I was like, I haven't seen Arsenal score a goal like that in years. Just 2 passes straight down the middle. Good finish by Gyökeres. And I was like, that is what I want to see. And I mean, he got his assist stolen because Martinelli scored off the line, which could have been 2 assists and a goal. I was so upset. I was like, no, how about just assists? What are we doing here? But I made a video 2 months ago, randomly, and I was like, I really want to see Havertz and Gyökeres play up front together, even one in midfield, one up front, or as a 2 up front. And I always thought that would never happen because of the midfield setup we have. But because Odegaard's playing so bad, I genuinely think, I don't think he'll do it tomorrow, but I think there has to be a consideration to play both of them, Gyökeres and Havertz together. Eze
I
out
guess
on the left.
against a back five is probably not a good idea, but
Nah, Havertz is insane against back fives. He runs them because he just pulls
yeah, I
players
know.
out.
I mean, like playing like a straight two.
Yeah, but we could have Eze out on the left, and you can move Rice up into the forward line as well with Saka. I kind of think it would work.
yeah.
I really, and you could play it long. Finally, we could play it long because someone's actually going to win a header,
Yeah, reference.
or actually compete in a draw in the forward area. It'd be nice because Jesus and Gyökeres don't, and then we've got someone that's actually going to run in behind with Havertz actually been. Havertz is like the most intelligent player we have in the squad, so he's going to be so good with them. And obviously, Havertz is going to miss 400 chances. He's going to miss some really big sitters. He's going to make some mistakes in the box. We all know that, but I just don't care at this point. I just think we need some fun. I do think Eze brings that as well. So if you just want to play Eze in midfield, fair enough. I don't hate that.
I like how we played Eze at one point, kind of playing off the striker. Like, why not with Havertz?
Yeah, and then Eze out on the left, and then you think about the creativity that would have. Like you Havertz and Eze, I thought broadly. I know they're in midfield on the game the other day, but I thought that really worked well. I do think that Havertz can create space for Eze a lot. I know he's more right-sided than left, but I also like the dynamics of Gyökeres being a guy that tilts left and Havertz being a guy that tilts right. So you've got a bit of balance there, actually, for once. And I just don't know. Like, I think Eze should play no matter what, because I think against Kairat he was actually really good, and it was more like it was more like an Odegaard performance in a sense of him being an all-phase player, and that's what I want to see. Like, I don't care if he's going to create all these chances. He created a couple of chances, we didn't take them. That is what it is. But I liked that sort of deeper passing. Like, he gave the burden to Havertz, and Havertz did a lot of good work. And Havertz physically, I think that's the big thing. I know Kairat aren't like massive, but physically he looks fine. Like, he looked fine against Portsmouth. He looked fine in this game. Straight away coming back. The problem is how much minutes can we play him? That's my big thing with him. Like, we have to manage him because Havertz has to play in the later Champions League rounds. He just has to. We have to have him if we've got any chance of winning that tournament. So we need to just kind of see where it goes. But Arteta did say he's fit to start. So I don't mind Havertz starting, and maybe 45 minutes and that's it. And then you have to bring Gyökeres on because he can play him. Fine. But I really think it's Havertz time. Like, he's back now. And it's so funny. I've been talking about how much I like this guy, and everyone's been like hating on me. And then now everyone's realized that the grass ain't always greener with other players. And now they all want him back. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. So.
The bar's just that low. That's what's going on, mate. The bar is that low that we're just going, just anything.
Havertz is our
just give me anything. We're starving. That's what's happening. Do you know what? I mean, all the 777s. That Bilbao game, that was the game where Gyökeres scored the header as well, wasn't it?
Yep.
And it was that almost like a foreshadowing of really what we're going to get is this player with no real intelligence or intelligent movement in the box. And then really Havertz is the player that we should have had all along. Like I'm still looking and going, the grass is greener, get me Alvarez. But
yeah, I do think that as well. I agree.
But again, I think because there are rumors that Martinelli and Jesus are the two players that they're kind of saying, look, player in cash for Alvarez, player in cash, boys. Which I think if you could get Jesus in that, and Alvarez is the Jesus replacement, like in terms of profiles, that's unbelievable. That's unreal. And then you're looking at like a Havertz backboard with Alvarez. Like, oh my God.
And the thing is, I was saying this earlier to my dad when I was having this conversation. I was like, if you get rid of Odegaard,
dad, by the way,
if you get rid of Odegaard, you could technically just buy Alvarez in like a bit more money, but that could be like a swap. And then you get rid of Jesus, of course. And then you don't even, because I don't think we're going to get rid of Gyökeres. I think they'll still give him a go. Maybe, depends if it's a good offer, I guess. But imagine having like a front three strikers of Alvarez, Havertz, and Gyökeres. They're all so different. They're all so different. And I know like they've all got their weaknesses, and you know, we know them very well with two of the players at our club. But I just think that gives us a lot of difference that I love. I love that sort of difference. And then let's say you get rid of a Martinelli or a Trossard, you buy a different left winger as well. And then a midfielder, and then you're calm. I don't know like what the money's talking about here, but like I definitely think there's ways that can work. And I think Alvarez, like, I know you did a stream about it quickly. I think broadly he is my number one target for the summer. I never thought he was possible, but for some reason Atleti don't want him anymore. I'll take him. This guy's incredible. I don't care.
Mad,
I've seen people being
mad.
like, oh, he scored twice in 2 months. Yeah, well, he also scored like 20 goals in the Prem in a season. He also had like 40 goal contributions for
He's only
last year.
25.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
the
I
most
just
proven striker you're going to get on the market ever. You're not going to get a guy who's proven the same.
go. Anyone that's not too sure, go and watch his performance against us in the 4-1 win, because he was incredible at times, unplayable.
And
Like,
watch. I did a video 2 years ago when he was at Man City. So go and watch that if you want to see how good he
stop
was at Man
plugging
City.
your bloody channel on this.
I know it's a good video about when I did a video about Alvarez, and I literally just used my other video from 2 years ago as reference, and all the things I was saying, I was like, this guy, just get him in. I was like, this guy is so good.
Mate, I will link that. I'll link that video in the description for this. Let's have a little look. Before we finish, I mean, this one is crazy because we do have to finish up quite soon. Guys, if you haven't done so, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Like, it really does help. If De Zerbi leaves Marseille, which I think he actually has now, hasn't he? Hasn't he handed in his resignation?
I don't know if they've accepted it though.
Oh, okay.
But I was assuming he would leave.
That doesn't look good. The whole point of sending him flops, unless the new manager plays it. And we didn't chat last week, but I still find the move kind of like I'm 50-50 on it. Like, I like it in terms of if you look at the club, great club, like amazing fan base in terms of like what they give you and the experience of that quality of football. But now I think they're out of the Champions League running, aren't they? And they've got some interesting characters in that dressing room. I won't get into too much detail about them all, but one of them, we know really well in Aubameyang. And then you look at De Zerbi, and I quite like De Zerbi's play and stuff. And at the time, before all of this news came out, I was like, he is loose cannon though. Like, he is a little bit mental at times. And now I'm looking going, oh God, like, have we made a massive mistake? Yet again, on a loan. Like, we don't ever seem to get loans right.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I've got to say, Waneri's one of those players where you look at United and go, he'd be perfect to throw on. He's a player that could just, like that, just take it.
I gotta say though, like, the sort of like love I have for that guy, watching him play in France is crazy. Like, last week, I remember I was at the pub. I was like so like drunk. I barely had any signal, and then like I looked at my phone, and everyone on Twitter was like going on about stuff, and I was like, "What's everyone going on about?" I looked, and it was Ethan had already scored like 14 minutes in, and I was just like gassed. I was like, I do not care. I'm gassed for the lads. Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a certainly weird club. I hope De Zerbi doesn't leave, because that kind of screws everything up, because they got knocked out of the Champions League. But I mean, Waneri's good enough where it probably won't matter. Marseille play very attacking football under De Zerbi, and that was kind of the whole fun, because that's why he's not going to Prem teams. They don't have the ball enough. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a weird one.
Yeah. Is De Zerbi the modern day Bielsa? I mean, you know better than anyone, me. Just Tom, by the way. Evening. Hope you're well. I haven't seen your name pop up for a little while. I hope you're well, mate. Right, let's finish off by going through. Let's go with our mad Leeds predicted. Well, should we do predicted lineups or what? Let's do what we want to see.
Yeah,
because I think I'm going to be so depressed at the end by doing a predicted 11.
Tommy Setford.
I'm going to start by saying William Saliba has been one of the very few players who has been, I mean, at times unreal, and there's nothing he could have done about some of these goals. And annoyingly, like, I really want to see Mosquera. Like, he's been, every time he comes in, doesn't matter if he's been out for ages, he's so good. He's just like a snip at that price of 13 million as well. Unbelievable.
He looks better than Hincapié.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I think Hincapié has really disappointed me, but then I look at it and go, I'm not too
that harsh on him,
worried, because I look at Calafiori when he like basically missed the whole season, and Timber the same. And I go, well, those two have done amazing now. So,
It's
I mean, we're
consistency as well,
obligated to
isn't it?
make this permanent anyway. So,
Well, it not necessarily. It depends on Leverkusen, but yeah.
how does it?
Well, it depends on both teams. So if we say, but one of the two teams has to basically force it through. If we say no and they say no, it doesn't happen. But if we say no, they say yeah, it happens. It's the same
Okay.
thing with the. It's the same thing with the Kivior deal. But Kivior is literally God in Porto, so they're definitely going to say yes to that.
Yeah.
He's like the best player they've ever seen. He's so good for them.
Doesn't that speak volumes about that league? Ah, you're Chris. Right, David Raya and go.
I would go Setford, but yeah, I guess we can go Raya.
Let's start with left back, Calafiori.
I just don't know if he's fit because he just looks so off it against Kairat, and I just don't know if I'd play him against the Leeds. I'd just play Hincapie, and I know he's not the best, but I just like he'll figure it out. I guess I don't think he's that bad.
I mean, I'm just hoping Calafiori's fit. So I'm.
I would
putting
hope
him there, but I'd
Calafiori
agree.
plays, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like Hincapie can be okay. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe he's not. I don't know. I think he's not active. I think Arsenal fans are very critical in everyone, and I get it, but I feel like some people just need time. And I
And
think
to be fair, if some of the other changes we mentioned in a little bit play, then I don't think it like hinges on him as much. Then I don't think our eyes are going to be drawn to Hincapie as much.
if
It's
Eze
not like
plays
he
on the
has
left wing,
hideous performances.
if Eze plays on the left wing, I'd rather have Hincapie. I think.
Yeah. Centre back pairing.
Yeah, Gabriel Saliba. Gabriel needs to play better. He's been poor since he's come back. Well, at least his passing's been poor. I don't know about his overall game, but his passing's been really poor. So hopefully he plays well.
Yeah. And then I'm going to say Ben White.
Yeah, so.
Oh,
it's time for Ben
I thought
White.
you were going to call me mental, and I thought you were going to go.
Ben White's impressed me. Out of any of the players that's come back since he's come over, he's been really, really good. And I'm like, I want to see him have some consistency in this team, man. Timber, I think at the moment the fan base is a bit not happy with him because of his tackling play. So I mean, maybe you bring Timber to lock it down and then you bring on White later when it's open. That's fine. I don't hate Timber, obviously, starting. I don't really care. Timber's incredible. But I mean, I'd like a Ben White. I feel like Ben White against Leeds is just a good fit. Former player. I feel like he's going to be a good. He's a good
yeah, he is. Yeah, was he a young player of the season or player of the season there as well?
Yeah. He was only there on loan as well.
Yeah, I want to say he was. I'm just looking that up because this is going to kind of decide for me as well. Because after we've got Chelsea, Sunderland, Brentford.
Yeah. Chelsea game's big.
Yeah, I think I'll play Ben White, and then Timber comes back in for Chelsea, and we just keep it on lock. But there we go.
I'd like to see someone like Mascara play against Chelsea. I think he's ready for a game.
Oh, like Mascara, yeah,
and I think he's ready for a game like that.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Centre midfield. Do we keep Zubimendi in it, or do we just take him out, let him have a rest before Chelsea?
It's such an interesting point because I think we shouldn't just now, but it's definitely something I've considered. Definitely, it's definitely in the consideration. Maybe this is not the best game for it, but I think some of the other games that we've played, like Forest, I don't think I would have played it. But I know it's easy to say in hindsight now. But I remember going into that game thinking, like, do we have to keep playing this guy every game, forever? I don't know, man.
I mean, obviously he didn't. Did he play? He didn't play against Kairat, did he?
No. So he's probably definitely going to play.
So yeah, so he's had a bit of. But to be fair, like I like Ødegaard.
And
it's a type of game where
it's one of them things as well because I feel like Ødegaard against Leeds would be all right. Like I think this is the sort of game that he'd be up for. Like this is the level he can deal with. And it's like with Zubimendi, if he plays in this game, he's going to play 90, and we all know what he's going to be like 3 days later when we play Chelsea. He's going to be awful. It's just how it is. It's how he is every time. So it's like, do we even bother?
Chad, isn't he? He's like.
Yeah, he can't play 2 games in 4 days. Every time the second game's awful.
And he's never really had to. And then he's coming to a league which is far more physical, far higher tempo. Like, I do feel for the guy because it's not like he is a fantastic player. He's shown it. Like on average, he's been unbelievable. But he's just struggled at times where he's just been blasted with all these all these games and minutes, and I think like Arteta, like you give the guy a break, man. Like physically, mentally, like the poor guy. I think Declan Rice has to play, but I don't know. Yeah, I go Declan Rice, and I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Oh my god. We
And Havertz.
we won. We won at what cost, but we won.
Oh my god. I cannot believe I am saying that.
Would you play him right centre mid or left centre mid?
I'm playing right centre mid.
Yeah, I think after last week.
Especially, do you remember where we lost Odegaard and we lost a lot of players? And we kind of played with almost like a 4-4-2 with Trossard and Havertz.
Yeah.
And he was picking up all those zones. Like his
that was when
his heat
Odegaard was
map there.
injured. That's when Odegaard picked up that Norway injury, and that's what we did to Cat. And it worked for like 3 weeks, and then it didn't work, and it was awful. But that was mostly because
of the
Trossard
kind of the Trossard element.
Yeah, Trossard up front just didn't work because he just isn't an outlet like that. Even though we tried to play him like one, I feel like Havertz and Gyökeres makes more sense. See, I would love us to play these players, but it's like I'm also considering who played. I think who played in the week. Like Eze played 90.
Sorry, I feel like this comment is mocking me. Tom's saying I am starving. I'm starving, Tom. This is what's happened. Oh man,
I'd play Ethan Wanyeri. Where is he? Oh wait. Oh yeah, he's not here. God.
I would because then I would bring Eze in on the left because we're playing Hincapié out on the left. I mean, regardless, even if Calafiori's fit and he's there, I think at this point you play Eze out there. Then I play Gyökeres up top, and I want to see that Havertz Eze again. I want to see Havertz Gyökeres again, and then Saka out on the right. Like that's.
Yep. I think I'm done with this Saka Trossard thing. I just want to see something different. I don't think they work I feel like they're too similar in so many ways that I'm kind of. They do things differently, but I still think it comes to the same outcome, and I think I'm just kind of a bit bored of it at the moment. I want to see our wingers switching because I think Madueke would play better with any other winger than Martinelli, but they play with Martinelli all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and also, like, by the way, like everyone's saying that Jesus should start. I was like, I do not want Jesus to start. He started against United, and I was like, it's the same. They're all arguably worse. Like, yeah, some passes he does are nicer, but he's just not a striker anymore. He can't keep up. Like, I don't know. The problem is, the only thing I'd say about the team, I would do the same team as you with Eze, Havertz, Gyökeres, Saka. But the problem is, it's like who's played in the week. Like Havertz, I think 45, that's fine. But Eze played 90, didn't he? And then like Gyökeres played 77. Like, are they going to be fit? And then I guess that would make them not play in the week against Chelsea. So then you're playing Jesus. I don't mind Jesus Martinelli against Chelsea. I think that's fine. But like maybe I don't know about Jesus. I think Martinelli.
But I do wonder. It's hard, isn't it? Like I wonder if you use Havertz, you take him off, you then bring Odegaard in at that point.
Oh yeah,
or bring Eze inside, and then Trossard can come on the left. I mean,
I hope Odegaard starts and he does really well, but I can't see it happening. But I want to be proven wrong. Like, he is a good player. If he starts Odegaard tomorrow, though, like I'm gonna go on Twitter and everyone's gonna be crashing out. It's gonna be so funny.
I mean, the funny thing is, like for me, my favorite team is not with Havertz in the middle there. You know, and if you kind of just said objectively, like Forder, do you want Havertz there, or like I'd be like, no, just play him up top. Like,
I think they will. I think that's more likely.
Yeah, I think if Arteta is going to make a change, it'll be Havertz up top, and then he'll keep Odegaard there because it's kind of tried and tested, or he'll just bring Eze in.
He might put Eze on the left. I feel like he's going to change Trossard. I don't know. I have this weird. I just have this weird thing that, like, even Martinelli or him. I think a game like this could suit Martinelli, maybe, but I do think they will sit in a low block. But then I also think they're going to counter and they're going to try and go at us. I don't know. I said this earlier, but like, if we were playing them at night time, I think we would get thrashed. But because it's daytime, I think we have a chance.
Yeah, because oh god, like an 8 o'clock kickoff. Because is it 3, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not even on
Yeah.
TV. Everyone
3
plays
or
worse
4?
at 3. Everyone plays worse at 3 o'clock because no one watches them in the UK. Well, unless you got stick, but no one. Most
Mm.
people don't watch them, so everyone plays awful in them. It's just a thing. So hopefully we just win 1-0 and go home.
Leeds is a hard place to
We've
go.
always played bad there, even when we're not playing bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Like it's a massive game. It's a massive game because for like multiple reasons, like we have got to keep that points advantage. Fingers crossed, it becomes like an
Yeah,
increasing
you're not at City
advantage.
play Spurs,
Yeah.
so that's not going to make a difference. Well, 4 point, 4 point.
Wow. History dictates.
That is true, but Spurs are
Hopefully.
awful now.
But it's really important, and it's not just for the points; it's for the fan base. Like for
Yeah.
there to be boos, I do think there's a lot of tension in the way we play. That like I put a comment actually in the Canon podcast the other day, and Rohan was saying, yeah, actually, it's a really good point. And I don't have many good points, so there we go. But I said it's a multitude of reasons because we've got the comparison within Arsenal of previous teams that we've had the joy of watching, like free flowing teams. Like we have been absolutely we've just been blessed. Like regardless of what you think of Arsene Wenger and his like later years and the trophies won, he just had us playing this amazing football, and then we compare ourselves to the best of those, like the Invincibles and things. Then you start going, oh, well, they're not playing as good as the Centurions. Well, you can't win every single game. Like it's just not possible. Then you've got the problem of, I use the phrase PTSD, but that idea of bottling the league and has this squad got the the mentality to do it? Like, are they actually too fragile, like mentally, to get over the line? And then you're looking at there's so many different reasons why everyone's kind of on tenterhooks
Fed
with this.
up as well with
Yeah.
I always think Arsenal fans do ask for too much, but I think this season they're broadly just like we spent hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds. We've got an incredible squad. People just want to see good football and wins. And when that's not been consistent, and yet again, like I thought the boot. I mean, I sit there in my room booing it, watching it. Boo, I was sitting there by myself, so I was with him.
I would love to see that.
I was doing it with him.
Watch along is needed.
I completely understood. I was sitting there booing, but I don't know. I didn't really feel like I was like, I get it's a little bit of like glass houses, like, oh, they've got everything. How could they? But we haven't won anything yet. So till we get that, then I'm like, they could boo all they want at the end of the day. Their team were awful. They should know that. That's a game, not even a normal game. United at home is not a normal game, is it? It's just a bigger game. And it's like us just doing that against Tottenham. And it's like, yeah, you are going to get booed if you play like that against Tottenham, and deservedly.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Like, these are players. They should, that's just how it is. Like,
and at the end of the day, a fan base, if a fan base is booing, there's a reason for it. Like a collective doesn't just suddenly all start doing that without a reason. So, and we know the Emirates at times has been really toxic. It's not like it's like that. I think it's more frustration than anger, if that makes sense.
yeah.
And people are just letting their voices be heard. It's like, okay, right, something needs to change a little bit, and that's okay. Yeah, I mean, Brett, Wenger ball. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, see, I saw the old Wenger ball where it was like, I mean, it was all right, I guess, but
wing fielders and
just give the ball to Sanchez and hope. Please, Sanchez, do something.
Oh, I love him right now.
Let's just cross the ball in and hope Giroud heads it in. Oh, look, we scraped the 1-1. Wow.
To be fair, we can do with a Giroud right now as much as, oh, God, at times.
Yeah. Well,
again,
I mean, everyone's
so similar to Havertz.
I mean, Forest just bought a striker that can't score a goal, but he's 6'7". Oh, fair enough. Shove him up front.
Yeah, there you go. That'll do. Should we just go out on the streets and find someone just very tall? Just get him in.
Get a basketball player, just put him up front. You got to withstand contact, but other than that, just head the ball.
Side question from 610 Vegas. Do you like this new Champions League format apart from Benfica? It was pretty dull.
The
Final
the
league
last
matches.
day is good if you're betting. I did my first of my bet in 3 years. I bet on every single team to score. All 36
Did
of them.
you?
27 scored.
No way.
Juve had 0 shots on target, drew 0-0. They didn't even try. They didn't even try to score. They just didn't even bother. Some of the other teams didn't score and they had chances. Fair enough. At least you try. They didn't even try. They're the only team that didn't try. So, I hate Juve. That's it. I'm a Juve hater.
Sorry, the rage. Oh, I love it when you get angry. I absolutely love it. I mean, I don't really know why it was. I feel like it's been changed simply for more money.
Yep. I feel like the games, I like it, but the games are so meh. Like they just are. Like the week when we played Inter, I was looking at all the games and I was like, these are all crap. I don't care about any of these. I was like, who cares? And I don't know what it means for the table because it's just so many teams.
I mean, purist in me, right? The 10-year-old kid, right? Little Forder. I remember thinking, why are these teams in the Champions League if they're not champions? Like I remember genuinely being like, but why Man United in it when we're champions? Oh, because they finished second. Right. So not the Champions League isn't all champions. No. Right. And there's not an actual league either. It's just so there's the small groups and then it's just a cup tournament. Like that always confused me why it's not just do a full league or just do, which I guess is the idea of the Super League.
That's because this is a full. Now they're doing it. This is the full league setup.
Yeah, it's like it is really strange. Especially, do you know what? It annoyed me last year where, like, oh, okay, you finished first in the league. It makes no difference whatsoever.
Yeah.
At least they've started to kind of
the
think
whole
about
system is way better now because we played the ones in the middle, so we technically got like the best of the worst, but then the worst of the best.
And then don't we like the fixtures, like the away fixtures, we get
until all the way to the final, and we don't get buy-in until the final. They'll be on the other side of the draw if they get there, which is good because they came second. So like they've made it much better this year. I don't know why you wouldn't think to do that last year. That's just stupid, isn't it? But I don't know. I completely get. I think it's fine. I do think the old format got really boring because how the coefficients worked. We would literally just be like, oh, PSV. It's the same teams who play every time, over and over and over again because the coefficients don't change. So we just be like, oh yeah. But then this system isn't. I don't think that much better, to be honest. I think the games have.
I do think as well. Like part of it isn't the format. It's the style of football, which kind of like. Hey, it's all cyclical. We're coming back to link to the beginning of the podcast and Scholesy getting me annoyed. The football in a whole, like you don't see that many like mental games. Like maybe if you like go to the Bundesliga, watch a bit of Bundesliga, get some entertainment. But on the whole, there's like a lot of control. And I know teams are now starting to go more transitional, but it's not like I remember like Champions League games for me. Like memories of Del Piero in white Predators with the Champions League badge on. I remember like absolute belters of free kicks and things. And you had so many teams that like, obscure teams that would have an absolute baller on. And you'd be looking going, oh God, they look good. Like who's this guy? And then it would be impossible to try and find any information about those players either. But now it's like we know all the players. No one really stands out, and they're not, like as much as I'm not a massive Neymar fan, at least like he was so entertaining, and a Ronaldinho and an Okocha and those type of players. But we don't really see it now.
Defenders are just better now, to be fair. Back in the day, anyone that had a bit of
we need to have this podcast because I am going to have this argument.
Anyone that had a bit of physicality would just dominate because all the strikers are weak. But nowadays, you've got 7-foot giants who could dribble past you and also
can't score goals, as we know as Arsenal fans.
Yeah, they can't score because of the defenders. It comes back.
Oh, we're going to have this. And then finally, so just Tom agrees everyone expected to win one. Yeah. All the sevens. I think the boo I was like a wake-up call to the team. The fans have seen this run of results in the last 3 seasons where we are poor for 3 to 4 games, and it's costed us every season now. Yeah, 100%. And then 610 Vegas, the Europa League, when it was the UEFA Cup, was a top trophy. They had the second place team. So sometimes teams were in it to the European Cup. Now it's like a mid-table cup. Like, yeah, I mean,
So
I love the Cup
mid-table
Winners' Cup. I love the Cup Winners' Cup. And I know I've probably got a little bit of bias with us winning it, but it made sense to me. It really made sense that it gave a really big reason for teams to want to win their domestic cups. Like things like if that was a massive thing, you get rid of like the Conference League. No one cares.
Whoa! I've won that 3 times on FM this year. Whoa! It's not me coming to the Conference League. That's my stomping ground with 3 different teams as well. I run that. I run that.
God.
That's my thing. It's so funny. I just go to every team that's in the Conference League and win it. So I love it. That's my thing.
Like to me, I just like get rid of it, bring back the Cup Winners' Cup. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, no one's watching Conference League games, are they?
Wicked.
I would love to see the average viewership numbers of the Conference League games. Like no one's watching them.
Like some of the trophies themselves are wicked as well back in the day. We had some sick trophies. And then finally, to finish off, thanks, Just Tom, Reece's internal monologue. Okay, Unk.
I love saying
by
Unk.
the way,
I say Unk all the time. It's so great.
on the Discord, on the Cannon Pod Discord, I am called Unk like frequently now. Or like a lot.
Aren't they all like the same age as you?
No, I'm like, I wish everyone was.
Everyone over 30 is the same. Everyone over 30 is the same, or around that age.
Thanks, Tom, for finishing it off like that, mate. Appreciate that. Guys, obviously we will be back next week at about 8:45 is our usual time to go on.
After our 2 big losses against Chelsea and Leeds, we will be back with a positive outlook on the rest of the season.
Don't say that, my God. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean that would be the dream, or all the sevens. No, we will be there after we get into the final of one of our domestic cups, ready for our new Cup Winners' Cup, and a nice little 2-0 victory at Leeds.
If we win, it will be like, unless he goes like crazy, it's going to be like a 1-0 corner goal, like whatever. I think they're going to score a corner though, so I'm going to say 1-1. I just don't think I'm not confident. I'm sorry. I wasn't confident before the United game about this game, so I thought Leeds are good, and now I'm even less confident. So I would love to be surprised and be wrong. I want to be wrong. If Havertz starts, I'm already thinking I might
lose to a corner and City. Oh my!
They're good from corners.
God.
This is the problem. Calvert-Lewin's actually insane in the air. He always has been. Let's get him in. Could do a lot worse.
We tried to a long time ago. There we go.
No, I
mean, to be honest, I think it'll be a 2-1. I think 2-1. I think we. How crazy is it that I was just about to say, I think we can do it? Like we bloody well should. That shouldn't be a debate.
I don't believe. Can we do it? This might be over. It's Jova. Let's give up, guys.
On that note, guys, hit the like button, hype the video, make sure you subscribe to Wokkles on
Wokkles Football, and then my other channel could have Wokkles Talks Football. I renamed it, and also my gaming channel, which is just called Wokkles. So, and also my F1 channel, which I'm going to make F1 videos on Wokkles F1.
This has become a plugging pod. That's all it's become. Just
way too much content.
Self-gratification. Yeah, lovely. And don't forget to check us both out on X, or Twitter as the unks call it.
I call it Twitter. I'm not an unk. I cannot believe I've been roped in.
You can find me on Forder on Footy or Forder on Football. And yes, we do take 20 minutes to end a stream, but you guys love it. That's why you all tune in for this. Is this part.
Exactly? This is the best part.
Right, guys. We will see you in the next one. Any last words, Reece?
go subscribe to you should have hated it as I said that.
By the way, I can't stop the stream anyway. I think you might have to stop the stream because it genuinely
oh my
won't let
god,
me.
I can do what I
I'm
want.
trapped here.
It's never ends.
I genuinely can't.
I can't end. It's just never gonna end.
This is what's happened. Just so everyone knows, like my internet since the storms has been really bad. So all I've got is a thing saying, make sure you got a stable connection, trying to reconnect. So I can't do anything. So that's it. This is going to be a 24-hour stream, it looks like, guys.
Wow. Well, this is insane.
Never mind. Well, I'll try again. Cheers, everyone.